Yo, what is up, guys? It's Aquagon. I'm back with another video, and I know I haven't made a video in a while, but this is some pretty important stuff going on in the community that I wanted to talk about with you today. So, last night, Bushy Road updated their new ban slash irregulars list, or you could just call it the irregulars list. And starting on July 23rd, 2020, we have some changes in the game. I believe that's when the tournaments come back, but these changes are effective July 23rd, 2020. So the biggest thing we're going to talk about is Overturn Abigail. Overturn Abigail is now banned in all formats. Overturn Abigail, you cannot run anymore. This is a pretty big deal for Darkness Dragon World because this is like a really good Darkness Dragon World card, and it's one of the only really good Darkness Dragon World cards that you use in every deck. The biggest problem with Overturn Abigail is that, in my opinion, Curse Dragons dropped from like A tier to maybe, well, tier 1 to 1.5. They dropped a little because of this, because there are only really two ways of guaranteed winning are Overturn Abigail and Burn Nova. Burn Nova has not been banned, restricted, or anything. Burn Nova is still good. You could see the ban slash irregular list on the screen right now, I believe. And we're just gonna keep talking about that. So the next card that I wanted that we're talking about is Loud Voice. Loud Voice has now been non-restricted, I believe. Yeah, it has been removed from this. So you can use Loud Voice now. Loud Voice has been removed from restriction. The other cards that have been removed from restriction are Machining Sacrifice, which is a Chaos card. Um, Full Mech Crystal Dragons Indo Beta, and Genome Upgrader Gear God version 1000, which is a size 90 Gear God with 70k power, 3 crit, 7000 defense. These cards are all pretty good. They're now, allowed in the decks, which is pretty good for Chaos. I don't think it's anything too game changing. I just think that it's something that improves Chaos. I just don't think that it's something that makes Chaos like, instant tier 0 or insane improval out of nowhere. Next there is an Actor Knights card. I really don't know his name, I'm sorry. There's a size 3 Actor Knights card who is also on the screen right now with Overturn Abigail. So I'm going to go back to talking about Overturn Abigail because I just completely forgot to keep talking about him. So biggest things with Overturn Abigail is the nerf to ThunderEmperor'sFangs. I didn't release this video before, but I worked on a video talking about how crazy ThunderEmperor'sFangs X Lost World is. Basically, TEF has insane draw power and insane deck searching, where you can basically get Overturn Abigail in your hand turn 1 insanely easily. So the whole way that the strategy works is that you go first, you draw out your whole deck, and you grab the Lost Flag and Overturn Abigail. You use Overturn Abigail, activate his Overturn, you end your turn, the opponent starts their turn, instantly ends it, and then you play the Lost World flag, switch your deck into Lost World, and then like draw, charge, and draw, whatever. You can't attack that turn because of Abigail's Overturn, but then you use the impact from Lost World that deals 10 damage to your opponent. I believe it's like Lost Zero Blazer or something like that. That's up on the screen right now because I messed up the name, I think. It's kind of an instant win thing. There are only like certain decks in the game that kind of have outs to it. Like if you're playing Imperial Core, you could call maybe a card during your opponent's attack phase and gain some life, because your opponent only does like 10. Your opponent does, I believe, 13 to 14 damage because the impact does 10, and then Overturn Abigail's gonna attack you directly, I believe. And then if you use Eternal Rivals, Abigail's gonna have 4 crit. If you don't use Eternal Rivals, Abigail's gonna have 3 crit. This is pretty crazy. Lost TEF now. It still exists, obviously, but the turn 1 Lost TEF instant win combo now is gone from the meta, and it just doesn't exist anymore, which is really good. I think that deck was kind of like tier 0. If you go first, it's like pretty much an insta win. There are only like 2 or 3 decks I could think of off the top of my head that actually have outs to this kind of thing. So that's pretty crazy. The Actor Knight thing was just for a loop card. The thing is that Burn Nova loop is still not banned yet, which I think is an issue. Burn Nova in like most decks is pretty insane. The Rebi Burn Nova, obviously. Like in Ancient World, since you can run more than one of him, if you run like 2 or 3, you basically get to survive for like 2 or 3 turns extra if you keep drawing him, which is pretty crazy. It buffs a lot of Ancient World decks. But You can also loop him really well in Lost World because of that Lost World spell card. You could grab a monster from drop zone, so you just keep re-grabbing Burn Nova, and then you instantly survive over and over and over again. And you can't lose as long as you keep drawing that card and spamming it, which is really good. The problem is that, so basically, Darkness Dragon World now doesn't really have too many great staple cards. They have pretty good ones like Devil Stigma, 100 Demon Sorcery, Death Sacrifice, other things like that. But Overturn Abigail is like one of the biggest things in Darkness Dragon World. Really good in Thunder Empire's Fangs and insanely good in Cursed Dragons. So now, both of those decks kind of have a big nerf from that. Some people might think that Loud Voice being non-restricted in Thunder Emperor's Fangs might actually help uh, Thunder Empire's Fangs. It helps it a little defensively, but it's not too big of a buff. Compared to the loss of Overturn Abigail and Thunder Emperor's Fangs, this is not a W, the Loud Voice. But Chaos did get a buff. Some decks got nerfed with this generic card that you could use with loops and stuff and grabs from deck. But yeah, I like that Bushiroad's actually still supporting the game, and I think that they're going to keep watching over the tournaments and the meta until the end of the tournament series, which I believe is at the end of July in 2021. So we still have over a year for tournaments and stuff. I'm excited for the release of Glory Valiant and Buddy Ragnarok and Revival Buddies. The cards are looking pretty good. I'm going to get into that into another video. So peace out, guys.